Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm going to be doing some Drytron Blue Eyes Chaos Max test hands. So I'm really excited to do this with you guys because this was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Jin, and this deck is an absolute powerhouse of a deck. Being able to special summon multiple copies of Blue Eyes Chaos Max in a single turn and using the Drytron package to get you where you need to go with all of your ritual monsters. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome awards like getting your name searched in a single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron along with test hands. And definitely give Jin some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So this deck is an absolute monster of a deck. I love the way it plays. Being able to focus around summoning Chaos Max is just really amazing. I was playing incantations for the longest time in this particular build, but I'm really loving the way that the Drytrons actually just special summon out to your side of the field, and they're super easy to summon. Being able to roll your Alpha Thubin and Zeta back and forth to constantly be searching ritual spells and ritual monsters is just absolutely amazing. I love the way this deck plays, and I'm really excited to show you guys exactly what I've got in store in this deck. So let's go ahead, and after we've piled shuffled the deck, because you guys know dad rule number one, you always got to pile shuffle. Let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck a little bit, and we're going to give it a quick cut and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Blue Eyes Chaos Max right out the bat. That's a really good sign. A copy of Drytron Nova, Blue Eyes Alternative White, Alpha Thubin, and another copy of Blue Eyes Chaos Max. So this is a very easy hand to go into because basically what your Drytrons do, they all have a common effect. If you guys don't know what these cards do, what they do is they cannot be normal summoned or set. They must be special summoned by the effect of a Drytron card. You can tribute one other Drytron monster or a ritual monster from your hand or field to special summon this card from your hand or grave in defense position. They also conveniently have 0 defense points, which is really good. Then they all have different effects when they get summoned, but they make it so you can't special summon monsters except monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set the turn you activate their effects, which is totally fine because it basically just says you can't special summon normal summonable monsters, which is fine by me. So we're going to go ahead and activate our copy of Drytron Nova. So Drytron Nova is going to special summon out our copy of Zeta from the deck. You're going to want to start rolling your copy of your Zeta and your Alpha Thubins back and forth because they are the best ones in this particular build. So then we're going to use the copy of the Zeta as a material to be able to tribute for Alpha Thubin, and Alpha Thubin is going to actually let us search a ritual monster from our deck to our hand. So we're just going to go ahead and search from the deck our copy of Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon just to get us some additional plays. And then we're going to use the copy of the Zeta to be able to tribute the Chaos Max in our hand to special summon itself back to your side of the field, giving us another monster on our field. Then the copy of the Zeta will search a ritual spell from our deck to our hand, which is really cool because basically Alpha searches the ritual monster and Zeta searches the ritual spell. I absolutely love these 10 promo ones because they look absolutely amazing. So once we summon out the copy of our Zeta and Alpha Thubin, you can then use the copy of the advanced ritual art that we searched off the copy of Zeta to be able to send from deck to graveyard a copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon, to be able to special summon from your hand a copy of Chaos Max, which is just going to get us another monster that's our big boss monster on our side of the field. You can then overlay these two monsters on your side of the field to go into a couple of different rank 1 monsters. You can even go in for Zeus later on after you declare an attack. So you can actually summon out either one of these two monsters. Usually I go for Beta Fafnir because Beta Fafnir has when you ritual summon, you can detach a material from this card as the materials. And then you can also use the following effects of this card once per turn. If this XZ7 card is on the field, you can send a Drytron from your deck to the graveyard. And then when your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control Machine Ritual monster, you can also activate its effects. So you can summon this, or you can summon out the copy of the bird. The bird is really good because it's unaffected by other card effects, and then once per turn you can detach 2 materials from it. For your next turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from battles involving this. So basically it just lives through everything, so you can just throw it in defense as a defensive monster to back up the copy of Chaos Max. So at this point, you can just pass against your opponent, let them go ahead into their play, and it just gives you a really defensive play that if they go in for a play, you can detach the copy of the Alpha Thubin. They attack it, and then during main phase 2, you make a Zeus on top of it, and then if they have any sort of crazy board, you can actually use the Zeus to be able to out their board, which is really, really good. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon, revealing it in our hand to special summon out the copy of the alternative white, which is really good just to get out the copy of the alternative white on our side of the field. And then you can basically attack for game because you have the 4,000 attack points of the Chaos Max, the alternative white that can pop stuff, and the Zeus that can blow board if needed. For example, if you did need to blow board, taking one step back, let's just say you did need to blow board and you detach the 2 materials from the Zeus, and this card has the ability that you're going to actually, once per turn, you can actually send the cards to the graveyard, so it would actually get rid of your Chaos Max, but that's totally okay if it does. So you're going to go ahead and send those to the graveyard, and then we're going to draw into the copy of the alternative white. So at this point, you can actually use the copy of the Alpha Thubin to be able to tribute your copy of your Chaos Dragon in your hand to special summon it back to your side of the field and then start rolling all over again to be able to add from your deck to your hand your Blue Eyes Chaos Max, and then you contribute the copy of the Zeta or the copy of the Alpha to summon Zeta back from the graveyard, and then you can use its effect to be able to grab a copy of Chaos Form because you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon in the graveyard right here. So you can actually use it for the copy of the Chaos Form that we're going to search and basically get more plays, which is basically the basic plays of this deck. And the basic plays is summoning a copy of Zeus, a copy of Alpha, or your copy of Zeus, your copy of Chaos Max, and then basically going from there. So you can go Chaos Form, summon this by banishing this from the graveyard, and then special summon out your copy of your Blue Eyes Alternative White by revealing, and then you have this field, which is a little bit different because you have the copy of Zeta, and then you can swing at the opponent from here for all of that damage. And you totally board wipe them as well with Zeus. So you have, you have game because you have 3k, 4,000 and 3k, which is a total of 10,000 attack points that you're swinging with. So let's go ahead and go into the next test hand. As you guys can see, this deck is crazy good. I love playing with Drytrons in this deck. This might be the new way that I actually play Chaos Max. I love the incantation build, but I really love this. Like this, both of them have their advantages because the incantation build can actually just catch your opponent off guard, but this build can also catch your opponent off guard, but you have to have 4 monsters on the field to be able to do it, which I'll show you guys that quick combo as well because it involves a card called Geonator. So Geonator has a really neat effect that basically this link card and other monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And if this card points to 2 monsters, you can switch control of those 2 monsters. So basically, if you have 2 monsters on your side of the field, I'm going to show you guys the quick combo for this one. Let's just say you have any of your monsters on your side of the field and you have any of your Drytrons on your side of the field plus a Chaos Max, and your opponent has a monster on their side of the field that this card can point to, and you have, say, a copy of the Geonator. So you can actually use the copy of the Geonator after you link summon into it. As long as it's pointing to one of your Drytrons, you can give it to your opponent and it has 0 defense, so then you can swing into it with the Chaos Max since it has 0 and do a total of 8,000 damage, which is kind of the same thing where I was playing Xian Spy in the incantation build, which is really, really cool. I love that play that you can actually pull off. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next test hand. This deck is just absolutely crazy. I love the way it plays, and it just has so many insane plays. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Manju, which is our only normal summon in the deck, a copy of Drytron Nova, another Drytron Nova, Alternative White, and a copy of Advanced Ritual Art. So this is okay because you have the old school plays where you can just normal summon the copy of the Manju to your side of the field, search your copy of your Chaos Max, and then go from there. But you can also use the copy of the Nova and be able to special summon one from the deck if you want to, or hold it in your hand for additional plays later. Use the copy of the Advanced Ritual Art, send from your deck to the graveyard your copy of your Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then once you summon out the copy of the Chaos Max, you pretty much pass from there, which is still pretty good. I love the way this plays. I've actually done before where I summoned all 3 Chaos Max in a single turn in this deck, but you have to get a really, really insane hand, but it's not too uncommon that it happens. So you have this really good field, and you don't want to go all in with your first turn anyway. So You're going to pass over to the opponent. They're going to pass back to you. You can use the copy of the Drytron Nova during your next turn, but you're going to draw first into a copy of Trade-In. And then at this point, I would use the copy of Nova because you don't know what you're going to get when you use the Trade-In. So I'm going to go ahead and special summon to my side of the field the copy of my Alpha Thubin, because Alpha Thubin is arguably, or is the best one of your Drytron monsters, in my opinion, because it's going to get your ritual monsters from your deck to your hand. Then you can use the copies of your alternative white in your hand to be able to draw 2 more cards from the deck, which is a copy of your copy of Fafnir and your copy of Cyber Emergency. So at this point, you can use the copy of your Drytron Fafnir, activate that field spell, and then once you do, you can actually search the deck for a copy of a ritual spell that is a Drytron card, or your copy of another Drytron Nova, which is our 2 cards that you can actually search off of it, because when it's activated, it lets you add a spell or trap that's a Drytron card. So we're just going to go ahead and grab that, and then use the copy of Cyber Emergency to be able to grab a copy of Zeta from the deck, which is just going to get us another card in our hand, which is actually going to get us another copy of our Chaos Max, because then you can just start tagging them out again. You tag them out, you add your ritual spell from deck to hand, which is going to be the copy of the Chaos Form or Advanced Ritual Art, depending on which one you want. And then you're going to tag them all over again out, and then you're going to summon your copy of your Drytron Alpha Thubin to add your copy of your Chaos Max. Or you can add your copy of your Chaos Dragon if you want to summon them both to your side of the field. Use the copy of the Advanced Ritual Art, summon your copy of this by sending to the graveyard your copy of your Blue Eyes White Dragon for cost, which then will summon out your copy of your Chaos Dragon to your side of the field. This deck is crazy. I love this deck because it just has so many follow-up plays as well for this. Because next turn, if they don't do anything, I'm just going to use the copy of Nova to tag in again. You could have used it first turn just to get a name in the graveyard if you wanted to, or bait an Ash out. You could use this, which is still pretty cool, which I love the way this deck plays, because you can play through like 2 to 3 negates and it doesn't even matter, and you're still going to get the OTK. So let's go ahead into the next test hand, because you're basically going to OTK with both of these monsters. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can do. You guys actually don't even touch the extra deck all that often. Like, you're going to summon Zeus every so often, but the Link monsters that are in the extra deck, they're basically just there as utility for if you need toolbox stuff. Like, if you need to go into a copy of Phoenix, you can pop Spell or Trap. You can go into Unicorn, spin a monster, spin a card off the field, and it's just basically there for that added utility that you might need. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for this next one. So we're going to go ahead and draw to a Chaos Dragon, Chaos Max, a copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon, Advanced Ritual Art, already fine, and a copy of Alternative White Dragon. Now that doesn't look like Drytron Chaos Max to me. That looks more like just playing Chaos Max. So we're going to go ahead and reveal these, and we're going to special summon out the copy of Alternative White, activate the copy of Advanced Ritual Art, and then send from our deck to the graveyard a regular copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then once you do, you're just going to special summon out the copy of the Chaos Max, passing turn there, which is totally fine. You got the Chaos Max out, you can basically OTK at that point. So you're going to go ahead and draw into the next turn, which is a copy of Trade-In. Go ahead and discard these, draw 2 cards, which is another Advanced Ritual Art, activate the copy of Advanced Ritual Art, sending our third and final Blue Eyes from the deck to the graveyard. It'd be great to have a Dragon's Mirror in this deck right about now, because I could summon out the alternative ultimate, summon out the Chaos Dragon, and OTK from there, which is the simple plays. That's the basic plays without the Drytron package if you don't draw into them, which is really cool. And it's still, like, the really neat thing is when I was playing the Incantation build, you basically summon out the 1 Chaos Max to your field, give them the copy of the Incantation, and then swing through. But it locks you out of your extra deck, which is the only downside to it. But this deck doesn't, which is what's really amazing, and the reason I'm really starting to favor this build over the old Incantation build. Not to say I don't like the Incantation build, but this one has more versatility where you can special summon stuff back to your side of the field from the graveyard, like your copies of your Drytrons, just by drawing into literally any Drytron or ritual monster. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. Advanced Ritual Art, this card loves me, a copy of Cyber Emergency, Trade-In, Alternative White, and a copy of, this time we got Delta. So that's still pretty good. So we can actually activate the copy of our Trade-In right off the bat, or we can use the Cyber Emergency. Cyber Emergency is going to be better because it's going to search your Drytron cards. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Alpha Thubin, which is the one I usually grab right off the bat, shuffle up the deck really quick so we can get some more plays. So we're going to go ahead and use these together to be able to draw 2, which is going to be a copy of Gamma and Nova, and we're about to have a really, really good time. So we're going to activate the copy of Zeta, or activate the copy of our Nova to get to Zeta, and then we can actually roll through all of our Drytrons, which is really cool because they can just tribute each other. Because they have the ability that you can't normal summon or set them, they must be special summoned by the effect of a Drytron card, and you can tribute a Drytron monster or a ritual monster in your hand or field to special summon these cards from your hand or grave. So let's start rolling through our Drytrons. So we're actually going to go Alpha or Zeta into Alpha, get us a search. We're going to grab Chaos Max off of the copy of the Alpha, which is going to be really cool. Let's go ahead and tag out like this. This is actually going to go to the grave. Let's tag out. Search the copy of a ritual spell. Since we already have advanced ritual art in our hand, let's go for chaos form. And then we're going to start tagging out the ones in the hand as well. So we're going to go ahead and tag out for a copy of Atlas, which Atlas has the ability, or the copy of the Delta. Delta has the ability that you special summon this card from your hand, and you can reveal a ritual monster or ritual spell in your hand. If you do, draw a card. So I'm going to tag out, summon out the copy of this, reveal the copy of Chaos Max in my hand, and then I'm going to draw any card, which we're going to shuffle up the deck really quick and hopefully draw into something really good. We're going to go ahead and draw into another copy of Advanced Ritual Art, and then we're going to tag out the copy of the Delta for the copy of Gamma. And Gamma has a really neat ability that basically he lets you special summon back a Drytron monster with 2,000 attack from your graveyard to your side of the field. So I'm going to summon out the copy of Delta, or Delta on back on my field to get its effect, to be able to then overlay these two to go into my copy of my other monster. Or if it's during your opponent's turn, you can leave these here and then ritual summon out your copy of your Chaos Max, which is just going to be really good to then summon out that card. If your opponent has any spells or traps, you can then use your copy of your Phoenix. You can summon IP Masquerena. You can actually even use your copy of Cross Sheep if you want to summon Cross Sheep. I already have a really good hand, so I don't want to draw 2 and discard 2. You can, if you want to, you can, instead of summoning out this card this way, you can put that back in your hand before you go any further. You can link these 2 monsters away, summon out Cross Sheep to your side of the field, and then once you summon out Cross Sheep to your side of the field, you can then use your Advanced Ritual Art, and we didn't send the Blue Eyes to the graveyard for it yet anyways, and summon out a copy of Chaos Max this way instead, which is going to give us even more plays in this particular build to go in even deeper with damage, because you're going to have the ability to special summon out Chaos Max now, and then once you summon out the Chaos Max, you're going to get to draw 2 cards, which we're going to shuffle up the deck really quick, draw 2, and then we're going to discard 2. So we're going to discard the Advanced Ritual Art and probably the copy of Nova. We don't really need it in our hand because we actually can just get a ritual monster off of this. Hopefully, I was trying to draw a ritual monster to be able to ritual summon again with chaos form, but we didn't hit it. So you still have this really awesome field to go in, so you can just go in with the Chaos Max. So let's go ahead into the next test hand and see what we can do for one more test hand. As you guys can see, the deck is really crazy. As long as you're tagging in and out the copy of the Zeta and the Alpha, you're basically going to win, because as long as you can keep one Drytron on the field, you're going to be okay, because you can just tag them in and out every single turn, which is just super, super fun. If you draw a ritual spell and a ritual monster, you can go in for more plays, which is really, really cool. Something like double Chaos Max, which is really amazing. Let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can do for one more test hand, because we've got some really insane ones so far. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Nova, Alpha Thubin, Zeta, Gamma, and a copy of Melody. So this is pretty good. So let's go ahead. It doesn't even matter if they're in the graveyard. So we're going to go ahead and activate the copy of the Melody, discarding the Gamma. And we're going to go ahead and add from deck to hand a copy of Chaos Max and a copy of, say, Chaos Dragon. Let's add Chaos Dragon from deck to hand, because then we can ritual summon multiple times if we want to. Let's go ahead and add that card from deck to hand, because then we can do a lot of different stuff with this hand, because we're going to use the copy of our Alpha in our hand. So once we grab both of those monsters, you can then use the copy of Nova to get out another copy of a Drytron, which is going to be Delta, that we're going to summon out from the deck, because then we can start tagging again. So then at this point, you can use your copy of your Zeta in hand, tag it out for a copy of Zeta, and then add Chaos Form or add your copy of Advanced Ritual Art. I'd always add Advanced Ritual Art off of this play, because it's going to give me more plays in the long run. You can then, at this point, tag it out for the copy of Alpha Thuban to give you another ritual monster in your hand, which is going to be another Chaos Max that you're going to add from deck to hand. We haven't done Gamma or Delta yet either, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck, and then we're going to tag out the copy of Alpha for the copy of the Delta Atlas, and then we're going to go ahead and draw a card. We're going to shuffle up the deck. If we draw into a copy of Chaos Form, we're pretty much set. If we draw into any ritual spell, we're pretty much set, which is going to be really, really, really helpful for this particular hand. So let's go ahead and see what we can get. So we're going to get a copy of Advanced Ritual Art. That's pretty good. That's really good because it's not once per turn. So we're going to go ahead and use this card to tag out for the copy of Gamma for our final Drytron. And then once you tag out for the copy of Gamma, we're going to revive the copy of the Atlas. And then we're going to activate Advanced Ritual Art, sending a copy of Blue Eyes from our deck to the graveyard, which we're just going to immediately send that. Send out our copy of our Blue Eyes our Blue Eyes Chaos Max. Use the second Advanced Ritual Art, summon Chaos Form by sending another Blue Eyes from deck to graveyard. And then you've got both of them out on your field. Overlay both of these cards on your field, and then summon out something else. Or before you summon out the second copy of the Chaos Max, or the copy of the second copy of the Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, you can actually link these two monsters away, summon the Cross Sheep, activate the copy of the Advanced Ritual Art, sending a Blue Eyes from deck to graveyard to get us a draw 2, which is going to be pretty good to kind of fix the hand if we need to. Which we're just going to summon out this to our side of the field, and then once we do, we're going to draw 2, and then we're going to discard 2, which the Beta Fafnir is, or the copy of the Drytron Fafnir is going to be really helpful. But at the same time, the Advanced Ritual Art's not going to come in that handy, so I'm actually going to keep the copy of the Drytron Fafnir because I can just roll my ritual spells next turn. So pass to the opponent. Keep in mind this is first turn. During the next turn, you're going to be able to activate, you're going to draw for turn, which is a copy of Manju, and it just gets more crazy because we're going to activate the Drytron Fafnir. We're going to add Nova, activate the Nova, special summon out literally any name, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to tag them all out again because if our opponent doesn't ash this, we're going to pretty much have like 2 to 3 Chaos Maxes on the field. We're then going to use the effect of our different cards in the graveyard, tag out on our side of the field for the copy of the Thuban. Thuban is going to search. Thuban grabs Chaos Max. Your copy of Thuban can tag out for Zeta. Zeta will search your copy of a ritual spell, which is going to be a copy of Chaos Form. Then we're going to use the effect of our other monster in the graveyard, which is our Delta, which Delta will tag out with the copy of the Zeta, which is going to give us another monster, which is really good. And then we're going to reveal the Chaos Max in our hand to get a draw, which is going to be the Chaos Dragon. And then at this point, you're going to use the copy of the Gamma in the graveyard, and we're going to tag out again for a copy of the Gamma, which will revive our copy of Delta. And then we're going to normal summon the Manju to our side of the field. Manju's effect will activate, grabbing us a copy of our Advanced Ritual Art from the deck. If we haven't, we don't have another one. We can actually just grab the Chaos Form from the deck to be able to go in. Actually, you don't even have to grab this. You can actually add your copy of your Drytron Meteonis to get your monsters off your side of the field. We do have 2 copies of Blue Eyes in the graveyard, but we need to get these off the field. Well, you can, instead of grabbing that, grab the Chaos Form because you can do more plays. So at this point, you can actually link for a link 4, which is really cool. You can actually link away your copies of your monsters. If your opponent has a monster that's pointing to this card, you can actually just link into your copy of Geonator now, which is really good to be able to just get rid of this Cross Sheep on your side of the field with the copy of the Gamma and the copy of the Cross Sheep to summon this, give it to your opponent, and then swing through. But if we want to make a really crazy board, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to make this one quick crazy board. So you can actually link these monsters away with the Cross Sheep on your side of the field to go into a copy of your access code, or you can go into the copy of Unicorn, or you can go into a copy of Linkribo. It's totally up to you what you go into here, but I usually go in for the copy of access code here, which is going to give me the 2 counters on it because I have Cross Sheep in the graveyard. And at this point, we double Chaos Form, we double banish from the graveyard our Blue Eyes White Dragons, and we summon out all of these Chaos Dragons, which is really, really good. We're going to summon out double Chaos Max and double copies of Chaos Dragon with a Manju and a access code to pop. I don't think they're getting out of this one. I think this is about it. they don't have enough kaijus for this one, and we're just going to swing for 4, 4, 3, 3, and 20 or 43 right there, and then 14. That is a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. That's like almost 20,000 damage on board with this field. So I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. I really think this deck is a wonderful deck to be able to play because it is super fun for all the different plays that you can actually do. I really love the way the deck plays. It's just super crazy to be able to go into all those different Chaos Maxes and all those different Chaos Dragons. And it's just a fun deck overall. I hope you guys give it a try because it is amazing. It's really cool, all the stuff that the Drytrons can do for this deck. I can totally see why this deck is tier 1. And it's just really fun. Like, I hope they don't hit anything in Drytrons on the list because, like, if they do, the deck kind of falls apart. I think they'll go after the fairy monsters instead anyways. So it's kind of like, I don't think it'll be a problem. Maybe Nova will be a hit, but it'll still be a good deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon on the description below, and give Jin some love down in the comments down below as well. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.